What is going on, Weekend Hangover crew? This is your boy Preach bringing you another episode. Today's episode, we're going to do a help me episode for Pittsburgh's wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, Juju, when he got drafted, he was an explosive receiver, came on the scene, put up some pretty decent numbers, and instantly became a star in Pittsburgh. Now, year 3, that kind of changed a little bit. I think he lost a lot of his explosive. Well, I'm not going to say he lost a lot of his explosiveness, but his numbers went downhill. A lot of people will blame it the fact that Big Ben went out in week 2 and he didn't have a receiver capable of throwing him the ball. I gotta say, those aren't football fans that are saying that then. A wide receiver is always supposed to make the big plays, always supposed to want the ball their way, no matter who is throwing it to them. You'll never hear anyone come out like Michael Thomas from the Saints when he was having Teddy Bridgewater throw him the ball, or Larry Fitzgerald and the multitude of quarterbacks that had thrown him the ball. If you're a number one receiver and a star-studded receiver, it doesn't matter who throws you the ball. You're supposed to give that quarterback ample space and opportunity to get you the ball. And I did not see that from Juju this year, but I also didn't think Juju was a number one receiver coming into this year. I thought he benefited a lot from Pittsburgh's number one receiver the year before, and Antonio Brown. Thought Antonio Brown took a lot of coverage away from Juju, and the number one corners on the other team away from him also. Now that Juju has it on him this year, and the coverage is set his way, I feel he kind of struggled. Now, do I think Juju can change this around? Absolutely. I think it's small things that made Juju fall off the radar this year. Ample things that he can improve to become that Pittsburgh's number one receiver once again. One thing that I have to say is his route tree. He doesn't have the best route tree in my personal opinion, especially to be a number one receiver. I feel number one receivers' route trees have to be super crisp, just to give that QB an extra little space for them to throw the ball, because you are against the number one corners. That's why I think, that's one thing that I really think that he needs to improve on. His arms are a little too sloppy when he's going into these route trees. They're flopping everywhere instead of being high and tight, and helping him get angles and benefit from those crisp route trees. Another thing is, I'm not going to say he has bad hips or anything like that, but he needs to learn how to control them a little bit more when he is going into those route trees. When he's hitting the top of the routes, sit down and break off or anything like that, to me, it's a little too predictable when watching him. And if I was a corner going against him, I could kind of predict a lot of his moves that he is going to do just because his route tree is not as crisp. Not as crisp as someone like Antonio Brown or even Tyreek Hill or any of these other big-time receivers that have crisp route trees. Now, another thing is, I don't think he's a huge drop guy. I don't think he has the terrible hands or anything like that. But I do think I don't know. I think injuries got in the way this year. I thought injuries could be a big concern for him. I mean, he had toe injury multiple times. He had a knee injury. He had concussions. I think injuries took a big part of Juju this year, and that's what I want to blame it on instead of quarterback play. Because there's other receivers that were on the team. They didn't put up bad numbers or anything of that nature, and they're nowhere compared to a Juju stature. So that's what I want to blame it on a lot, is Juju's concussions and injuries and all that kind of terrible stuff that is going out the window. This is a new season. But the things that I think he really can work on is, like I said, his route tree, work on his hands a little bit more, and put himself more into the playbook. Those are the main things personally that I think he can benefit from and become that number one receiver again. But if y'all have something different to say, please throw it down in the comment section below. And if you want to be a part of the Weekend Hangover crew, subscribe to us. And until the next video, peace.